This video app review is brought to you by the iPhone appreview.com.
What's up, everybody? This is Luke Patrick with the iPhone appreview.com. We're slinging out yet another video review today, this time taking a look at an application called the Traditional Storyteller, and this is kind of taking the UK by storm at the moment, or at least the UK App Store. So, this is available elsewhere if you're not in the UK, but again, just to start off right off the bat, this app is probably going to be more focused on the British user, which is not a problem for us, but others might be a little less inclined. Anyway, the application is called the Traditional Storyteller, the Giant Turnip, and if you know anything about Russian folklore, then you know what the giant turnip is, the classic tale of the farmer and the huge turnip. So that's pretty much the only introduction that we need to give for this. We're going to go ahead and just jump straight in. This app is available for £2.99p in the App Store, which is, we'll talk more about that in just a second, but that is the pricing on this, basically £3. And just to dive in a little bit, we're going to explain what this is by simply playing it. So here we go. There's lots of little animations and nice narrations from children too. Alright, so you've got a little bit of a video introduction there. We're going to skip that just to jump straight into things so you can see how this rolls. To play, you simply tap. To pause it, you tap again, so we're just going to hit play. Alright, I'll give you just a little bit more. Alright, so there you go. Obviously, this app is a, as it says, a traditional storytelling experience. This is one of the UK's leading, I believe this is actually the UK's storytelling laureate. In fact, a leading storyteller that's giving a classic tale and a just absolutely spot-on performance, and this goes on for about 8 minutes, obviously. And that's the basic experience here. This is obviously aimed at children as far as entertaining them, keeping them engaged, and then sharing a little bit of classic storytelling with them, which is a different take than we usually see in along the lines of, say, an ebook or a mini-game-oriented game for children. We actually quite like this. It's a refreshing change, the fact that your child can go in, hit this button, it's very easy to do. And then they're given, just a classic story. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a wonderful performance. And then if they have, you want a little bit more control over it, or even if you do as the parent, you can slide through, go wherever you want, and then play away. It's just great, absolutely fantastic. So, that's the basic story. If you don't know the story, great opportunity to go ahead and buy this and give it a go. For everyone else, this is the classic giant turnip story told at its best, so that's pretty much all we have to say about the actual storytelling part of this. That's pretty basic, and you get the idea of it. Obviously, it's fantastic and a great way to keep your child entertained, but it's this stuff over here that's a little bit more interesting, we might say. We'll start with the best bits section. Tell that bit again, we really liked that. Alright, so there you go. Basically, you're given a, an illustrated, rendition of the best bit, the very final part of the giant turnip story in which they're all trying to yank it out of the ground and everybody on the farm is helping out. So that's really cool. And then you also get a couple other mini games involved here. You've got listen and repeat, tell your story, and a map game. We're going to go ahead and talk about the map game very quickly. Obviously, the idea here is to take all the different tiles and then arrange them. You can drag them down and then pop them into place wherever they should be, should belong. For your child, this is a great exercise because after they've heard the story, they can go back. It reinforces storytelling and story recognition, which is something that's actually quite useful in, a child's early education. Being able to piece together plot lines and follow stories is really, it's a cool thing. And then you can hit next, and you've got listen and repeat. You can actually teach your child to tell the story themselves. The narrator says it, and then you can hit record, and your child can actually repeat it and then record it and play it back, which is nice. Ultimately leading up to, to tell your story, which is absolutely brilliant. We think developers are just top-notch for putting this in here. The idea is that your child is given these illustrations to kind of help with the idea of how the story rolls, and then they can actually hit record and then tell it entirely themselves. So let's say you give your child this app, they listen to it, they play the games, and they come to you and say, Mom or Dad, listen to the story, and then they play it back to you, which is just, that's absolutely fantastic. That's exactly the sort of thing that we love in an iOS app for children, and it's just totally spot on. In terms of design, there's not much here. It's a rather subdued app, but not in a bad way. It's actually quite nice. This means your child will not really be distracted by the interface, but more focusing on the actual content of the app. Of course, it looks great. It's very professional, so no complaints there. All in all, we are going to give the Traditional Storyteller, the Giant Turnip, a 4 out of 5 star rating from us here at the iPhone appreview.com. It's a unique and fresh take on an application for children. And we really appreciate the fact that what the developers are doing here. It's just great, and we hope that they continue to do it. There are a couple other stories that they have out. The $2.99 price tag on this is a little. It's slightly high. Obviously, it's a little higher than we might like. Then again, you are going to get your money's worth. You get a beautiful rendition of the story, a whole bevy of mini games. So with that in mind, it's still a value. Obviously we would like to take maybe 60 pence off. That would be nice, but not a deal breaker at all in terms of that. So with that in mind, that's pretty much all we have to say about it. Again, this is a 4 out of 5 star rating for the Traditional Storyteller, and that's all we've got to add. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out. But we'll see you guys later. Bye.